We will be showing you multiple subjects of abiotic and biotic things. We know that the relationship between them is like a tree to water. A tree consumes water as nutrients. The tree, we know, is abiotic, and the water is biotic. Watch for these 7 characteristics of living things in the videos that follow.
Characteristics of living things being that they are made of cells,
They reproduce either sexually or asexually.
they are based on the universal genetic code, which is DNA,
They grow and develop.
they obtain and use energy and material such as food or water,
They respond to their environment and stimuli in there.
and they maintain stable environments by
So in this
homeostasis.
ecosystem, we see that there are these green bushes, and we know that they are living because of the green color, which is directly caused by photosynthesis. So we go over here to this here tree, and it may look like it's not living, but we can see from this twig right here that I snap off, it is indeed living because of its green color and inability to snap easily. So if you see, there is in fact green color, which is a direct
So we
sign
can see
of here in this other setting, this big pine tree fully matured. So we see that it is indeed alive because of the green pigment in its needles, the fact that it doesn't look dead, it's pretty sturdy, and if you go back here, you can feel where the sap resides on this tree.
In this instance, we can see that this horse is living because of his ability to eat, as we see here. Because of this ability to eat, this hay goes through his excretory system, which produces waste. This waste can in turn be used as fertilizer to grow grass, crops, or other plants. Another instance of life that we can see from this horse is the fact that he is warm. This warmth is produced by cellular activity, and the warmth is kept in his body by the layer of fat that is under his skin. As you can see, we are here in a swamp ecosystem, and if you look behind us, there is a pond, meaning that we have all these wild grasses growing around here because of its water source. But if we take a look at the inside of these grasses, you can tell that there's no coloring, no pigment of any kind, so we can tell that it is in fact dead. And as you can see, there are many different types. Yeah, that's pretty great.
This hay here is part of an ecosystem. The horse's fertilizer is then taken from a pasture, put into a spreader and spread on a field, and then it can be used to grow this hay. Then it is chopped and stored in a bale fashion as this, or in many other shapes and sizes. And then the horse eats it, excretes, it's grown again. And we can tell that it is no longer alive because it has been chopped off at the roots and because of the lack of green pigment.
Water. Everybody needs it. Everybody knows what it is, plants and animals alike. We all need it to cause, as one, a coolant, which we can see through sweat, and 2, it acts as a main ingredient in almost all liquids in our body, such as plasma. Plasma in blood is the liquid part and is 55% water. We know that we need water, and plants need it also. Plants need it to cause growth. We know that it is not living because 1, it doesn't eat, and it doesn't poop. We know that, but if we look here, it falls, it moves. But we know that it's caused by gravity and not by its own intentions. This is a car. Although we know that the car is made from carbon, which is one characteristic of living things, we know that it is not living because it does not have involuntary or voluntary actions. One downside from using cars is that if you look back here, while running, the car produces carbon dioxide, which pollutes the atmosphere. The carbon dioxide comes down here out the muffler after other harmful gases are collected in the catheter. If we look over here, we see the fuel tank. A car uses fuel to run, and from the fuel is where the carbon dioxide comes from. Fuel is made from petroleum, and petroleum comes from oil. Oil is found deep or in some places shallow in the Earth's crust. This is fire. Fire needs two things to burn: oxygen and fuel. Oxygen being from the air, and fuel being from any organic thing, aka made of carbon. Although it seems to be moving, we know that it is not living because the movement of the flames is not produced by itself, but directly produced by the wind. And we know that it does not ingest or digest any food source.
So this cat here is part of an ecosystem because he eats, drinks, he excretes, and he eats small rodents, such as mice and birds. As we see from these past videos, we have many examples of biotic and abiotic things. Without both of them, we would not have a stable environment.
We know that without biotic things, life as we know it would not exist. We would not have food and other sources of nutrients that we would need. But without abiotic things, life would not exist at all. Thank you for watching.